I just hit the live button on the
Get in, Sparkle Farts. We got chaos to cause. You're welcome.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Hey, I saw you made a real nice write-up.
Which one?
I
On the
didn't read
mammoth?
I didn't read all
On
of
the
it, I'll be
mammoth?
honest with you.
Yeah.
But I read some of it.
Yeah. I've gotten actually a couple really nice ones
Mhm.
lately, and I'm really happy with the mammoth one. It turned out nice.
Yeah.
'Cause it's no joke. What's up, Troy?
Bloke. No joke bloke.
No joke, bloke. As you well know, it's no joke.
It's eaten me up and spit me out.
Yeah.
Once so far. Hey, we already got 2 live on...
Look at that, Mike. I don't even know what I'm doing here. What am I doing?
Troy's on.
Yep. Troy's on the YouTubes.
He is. Thanks a lot, Troy, for watching on the YouTubes. For everybody out there, if you like to go over there, it's another place to watch. We still get all your live comments.
Yeah. Did I do everything I was supposed to? I'm not sure. Well, no, I guess. Yeah, Jason had...
Come on up.
It is definitely something to do. Be prepared to... Oh, I don't know. Your rig. will sustain damage. I guarantee it.
Well.
Oh, look at you, Mike. You're switching over. Yeah, it is. It is an odd night. Well, Mondays are kind of fallback night. If we can't do Sundays, then we fall right back and do Mondays.
I had a wedding. It was really my fault.
5 lug, 7 slot madness. Hey, enjoy your show. Awesome. Good to hear. Thanks for tuning in.
Jason, whenever you're ready, come on up and I mean, you'll probably teach me a thing or two again, but more than welcome to have you come on up and I'll take you out on the mammoth. Get a group together.
Yeah, we should definitely get a group together, and I can cover it. I'll bring the drone and...
Yep. I was already talking to Eric about figuring something out for next month.
Yeah.
Next month? You know,
right.
when in my spare free time.
And
his spare free time.
Yeah, right.
His daughter's cute as a button.
Oh my gosh, she is, isn't she? That's sweet. Oh my God. She talks though. She's a talker.
Probably can't keep her quiet.
No. Oh. I'm tired. All right, let's get some people on here. Building a small crowd. I know it's Monday night.
It is. Some odd reason we get decent traction on a Monday night.
That's true. But then, of course, that makes it... I've got to edit it later
Absolutely
tonight.
next year, Jason. I got to get back out on it and find some reasonable lines to get through.
Yeah. And it was really cool because you could turn that into like a full-on course by going out and throwing up some flags and or cones and marking some stuff. And there's still, a good chunk of the trail that hasn't been even touched yet.
There's a huge portion of the trail that probably hasn't been touched yet.
So
all those offshoots up the sides and everything, I think that's what's not going to get touched much, and that's where...
those are serious elevation changes. In, a small, short period of time,
Yeah.
So I would suspect they're going to be a challenge for most.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking probably 300 feet of elevation change.
Yeah.
Over maybe a football field.
Yeah, it's
steep, it's big, there's a lot of... It's just giant rocks.
It's basically a 45-degree angle with boulders.
Yep.
Good luck. Good luck, bro.
Yep.
All right. How you feeling? Do you think we should hit the
record, hit the live, hit the button, one of those
hit something?
Are you recording over there?
I am recording.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even pull up the checklist today, and I think I've hit everything.
Pretty damn good.
Which is why I feel like I haven't done something.
Yeah, because you didn't even pull it up. Yeah, you
I
didn't do something.
Well, I have picture on the screen, I have audio in here, and I have little flashy lights over here.
And it's recording.
That's
all we need. That's a podcast for you guys. Don't take our recipe. You didn't hear it from me.
The number is going. It's counting up, so that means we're recording. All right, I'm going to hit that button and get rolling. Well, hello and welcome to the Jeep Life podcast. We're that podcast where we celebrate the Jeep life and everything that goes along with it.
Woot,
woot, woot, including cold, mud, ice, sand, mountain rock. You name it, we do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jeep and Terry, and I'm coming at you from Studio E. I'm joined as always.
Oh, this is still D.
Is it D? All right. Well, we readjusted the lights. I confused.
Yeah, okay. New studio, new lighting.
I'm joined as always by my really good friend, Brady Bill.
What's going on, man?
Not much, man.
We've talked about this. It's not it's held here. I don't have a choice.
No, you have to show up. Well, no, I can break in. I've done that a couple of times.
Well, I leave you a key.
That's
you
true.
don't have to break in.
I guess I shouldn't have broken those windows, should I?
No, I gotta. Yeah. Jeez, I'm tired. It's been a long weekend.
It has been a long weekend. You didn't get married.
No, I was doing best man duties.
All right, that's good. Whew. All right, not that.
Don't worry, you didn't miss it.
I was going to say, my invite must have got lost in the mail.
You'd be invited. Don't worry.
I would drive anywhere for it. So if it's in Hawaii, I'm driving my happy ass there.
Well, I hope you're not driving because there's a lot of water.
I'm building a bridge.
Yeah, but you were out this weekend. You were out on the trails a little bit.
Yeah, I was. I got to hang out with my really good friends from Maine. Impromptu planned / impromptu.
Impromptu for you, planned for them.
Yeah, but I was planning anyway.
You were planning to go out for a different reason. So we're here in Pennsylvania, and for everybody out there, Pennsylvania is known for awesome fall foliage.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing that I noticed a lot this weekend going up. I was up in Jim Thorpe area.
Okay.
So where my old home was.
Your old stomping grounds.
Yeah. But like the trees, holy crap, man! Overnight they changed.
Well, that rain that we got started, was the catalyst for it, and it just snapped right in. And it was funny because I was driving up, and I was kind of disappointed. I was driving up Friday, and I was disappointed by the amount of lack of foliage, right? And then got up Saturday morning. Boom. Instant gold and orange and reds.
It's like the fairies went around and painted all.
It was. It was literally supposed to be a weekend of camping and going to just take the green trails. Right. And, because my Jeep isn't capable of doing anything more than that right now. But we're going to do green trails and just look at the foliage, and there's some trails that have real nice overlooks, and that's kind of was our plan, to go to different overlooks that we knew.
Isn't Trail 111, is that what it is? Is that overlook still open again?
It is, yeah.
I just thought of that.
Yeah. It overlooks Mammoth now.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Yep.
Matter of fact, that was one of the first times you and I went out. We ended up there, and one of your buddies backed in and broke my license plate holder.
I don't think that's how it went.
That's exactly how it went.
All right.
He said, "I'm going to go do that,"
and he let his clutch out and rolled backwards.
and yeah.
All right, that's right.
So we were out with my friends from Maine, Dan and Jeff and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just fantastic people, and amazing wheelers. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just terrific wheelers. And so we, I spent Saturday with them. Maddie and I jumped right seat with Maddie, and did the whole scouting and
Right.
and leading, and we did all the blues and blacks on the Eastern that we could, and killed it. It was awesome.
Sometimes those days are the best.
Yeah.
Just getting out, all of a sudden you're like, hey, we need to get out there.
Yeah, and friend of the podcast Neil was there too.
Oh,
so
okay, cool.
he showed up. But it was a small group of good wheelers, and those days just, they're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it was good. But later in the episode, this is foreshadowing.
Yes.
We're going to talk about some of the camping.
Mm-hmm.
Some
of the camping we've done together.
We're going to talk about some of the things that people might want to look out for.
Yeah.
Because we experience those things maybe the hard way sometimes.
We usually set up like a tent village, and
yeah, we're good at. I did find a new campsite that is primo.
Oh yeah, which
up
one?
there? It's
well, we're not going to
right,
tell me later.
We'll save it later.
No, we're not going to tell everybody out there. It's our primo campsite.
True. That's true. I'll save it for after the
it's
show.
like those really good trails. You don't tell anybody about
Right.
them. Your fishing spots, the good trails, and new campsites.
Perfect. Oh, all right. Well, let's get into it. I know that there was we've got some events coming up.
Well,
no. First news.
There was some stirring.
We got some
news.
in the news.
Yeah.
I put in some news sounds right here.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. This is kind of heartbreaking, especially knowing that I went out with Maddie this weekend. 2023 Rubicon will be the end of the Eco Diesel in the Wrangler.
Oh, correct. In the Wrangler. However,
still going to be offered in the JT.
It will live on in the JT.
Yeah, but not in the Wrangler.
I think they're coming out with something else.
Yeah. Or is it another move away, into the 4xe? And
so, let's talk about the Wrangler Diesel option in general. So it was it was very difficult for Jeep to do this because Jeep is awful at cooling. For some odd reason, they just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But the JL definitely has wider slots and more surface area for a radiator in there. But that was one of the biggest problems that they were dealing with that diesel engine, is trying to keep it cool. So that's kind of one of the big things, I guess, that they're looking at. Obviously, it would be more accepted or more wanted in the JT, the truck version of it. I would be interesting to see if they could figure out some type of cooling, and what kind of payload actually that you can put in the tow with it or anything of the sort. But yeah, so I think that's one of their big issues that they're just looking at. And, probably looking at the numbers, they might not have sold as well as they thought.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen that many Wranglers that are Rubicons. It's the one-offs every once in a while, and, we went to a lot of shows in the last year and seen a lot of Jeeps, a lot of brand new Jeeps, and it's just a small number that diesel represents.
Yeah.
Now the cool thing about diesels is it's torque for days.
It is.
The difference between like the 4xe torque and the diesel torque is the diesel torque has to spin up a bit.
Right.
So it's not instant torque. It's perfect torque.
Yep.
Right? Where the 4xe is more instant. You hit it, it goes, kind of thing. So am I kind of sad to see it leaving the lineup? Yeah. Would I buy one? No, not really. So it's not a loss to me, but I could see some people be sad about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is one of the other things with diesels is it's usually more expensive maintenance-wise.
Sure. I mean, an oil change is $150.
Yes. So maintenance alone, I think that's one of the things that it deters people from buying it. The other part is you need to put DEF fluid in.
DEF fluid, yep.
So every time not every time you fill up your with diesel, but you need to top that off. And also, if you run out of DEF fluid, they go into a limp mode, and you can only drive them at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So, you have bigger, more consumables. You have a diesel filter that needs to be changed out.
Yes.
So there's a lot more than just putting gas in your car.
And Jeep had to make some major adjustments to the frame and to the payload for that. So, I can see that it's less efficient for them manufacturing-wise.
Correct.
To have that. If they have a specialized 392, then that had modifications needed to do as well, but that's a specialized line where they can run X number of them all at once and be done with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's interesting. I still love the sound of that diesel.
Oh, heck yeah.
And being out with it, but
it throws you off a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I'm not going to cry any, but I know some people who are. So we'll kind of maybe wear a black band around our arm for.
I was trying to find out what
two.
the actual sales on the diesel JLs was.
It's minimal.
I can't find it.
It's minimal.
Quickly, at least.
I'm gonna plug real quick Wave 360.
Heck yeah, man.
They sent some swag this week.
Yep.
And we had Christy on the show. I think that was 2 name changes ago.
Yeah, formerly known when she was on the show as, I guess it was
the Jeep Wave.
The Jeep Wave
app. But Wave 360 is it, and huge social media app for Jeepers. It's awesome. Mine was blowing up in the Smoky Mountains. So
oh yeah, mine was too.
It was crazy. It was awesome. So shout out to them. Thank you so much for the swag. It was awesome. If you want to send me swag, I'll put a T-shirt on.
I'll put a T-shirt on.
But no, it's good to have that relationship with Christy, and maybe we'll have her back on the show to talk about new upcoming additions to the app. Cool. All right. Events. Oh, I know there's one that I left off and didn't put on the show notes, and I apologize. And that's coming up on the 15th, I believe, and it's Crawling for Canines at Rouse Creek. That's coming up soon.
Yes, it is. But some events that we have coming up right now. October 22nd is Boo. Whoa. You're missing the one next weekend.
Oh, yeah, I am missing that one.
Terry's getting fired.
No doubt.
So October 16th, this Sunday, is Jeeps and Java down at Quadratec in their Westchester location, where we both frequent often.
And
very often.
I hear we're going to have a presence there. I'm the master of ceremonies and DJ.
The buggy will be there.
And the buggy, yeah.
So, heck yeah.
Got to get a fuel cell for it.
I got to patch it.
Right.
I give it all patch job. Patches over here. Patches over here. But so that's this Sunday. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a great time. So make sure you put that on your calendar. That is this Sunday from 8 to 11, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Cool. And then October 22nd is actually Boo at the Zoo, the Creepy Jeep Fest at Cape May Zoo in Cape May, New Jersey. The very next day is the New Jersey Fall Jeep Invasion in Ocean City, New Jersey, on the boardwalk. Yes. That got rescheduled from October 9th.
Yep.
No.
Or before that.
Before that. That was
October 1st.
1st.
Yep.
Something of the sort. We got bad days.
Yeah.
So that's the very next day, and that's in Ocean City, New Jersey, on the boardwalk where you can park your Jeep up there. I think they still have some tickets left. I know I saw Jamie was posting about it. And that's put on by Blinker Fluid Productions.
Yes.
So, heading into November 12th and 13th is Virginia Beach Jeep Fest in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Virginias.
I love Virginia Beach. I would love to go down there. I wish I was available to go, but I can't make it that far.
It's a
it's a haul.
hike.
6.5, 7 hours down. But I would love to go. I've got friends down there. I could crash with them.
Heck yeah.
Well.
And then that same weekend, November 12th, is Apex Off-Road Wheel to Heel.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Huge.
So I think we might try to get Chris from Apex Off-Road on the podcast maybe next week.
Yeah.
Give him
soon, yeah.
Let him come on and talk about the awesome Wheel to Heel event. They raised a crap ton of money last year, and I think it's going to be bigger and better than last year.
And if you go, they have a crap ton of giveaways.
Cannot confirm or deny.
I've never seen so many giveaways.
They gave away a lot.
A lot.
Last year.
Yeah.
Great sponsors of the event, and it's Wheel to Heel, so it's a great benefit.
Yep.
And then, we're going to leave that one off.
All right. Sounds good.
We were talking about next year, New Jersey Jeep Invasion. They released the dates, and they're already sold out of the first 500.
Yeah. Wow. It'll be big.
Yeah.
And we'll be there.
I think they sold out the first 500 in 12 hours.
It was really quick.
And last year, last year Jamie said it took like 48.
Yeah.
To sell out of the first 500. So
that means it'll be big, big, big.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Well, transitioning right along.
Yeah, well, thanks for the update on those events. It's, how did I forget the
one that we're
Jeeps and
both
Java.
going to be at?
I know, right? Well, this weekend, you and I had 2 separate events, and we both ended up camping at those events.
That was a bad idea on my part. It was very cold this morning.
It was very cold. It was cold at night this weekend. It was absolutely beautiful this weekend.
During the day
when the sun was out, that big ball of gas that's keeping our planet comfortable.
Hot.
And you and I've camped a lot together over the last 4 years, right? And
multiple different capacities, cold, warm.
Yep. So right now we're going to talk about some cold weather camping. We're going to talk a little bit about what we experienced this weekend.
Yes.
Because you were on the rooftop tent.
Correct.
On top of your JK.
Yep.
I definitely want to hear about that.
Okay.
How'd it go? And then maybe some tips or words that we can go out.
Yeah, man.
I'll talk about mine a little bit as well.
So I've actually I want to bring up another type of camping as well, and that's sleeping in your Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a few different options that we can cover right now. But so first I'd like to start off with this weekend I did sleep in a rooftop tent on top of my Jeep. There's some great advantages, some disadvantages. We're going to leave that. The only real disadvantage is once it's set up, you got to kind of stay there with a rooftop tent.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's on top of your Jeep. But so some of the cold weather kind of tips and tricks I've done with camping.
Yeah.
Usually we have electric at the sites.
Yeah, we try to find electricity.
We try to find some type of electricity. So small little space heaters are great. They help out a lot.
Yeah.
Electric blankets, great idea.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. But if you can't get electricity, I think one of the biggest things that last night we made sure that like all the zippers were zipped up really good.
Yep.
When it was time to go to bed, like basically just covered everything down. The biggest issue we had was everything was wet in the morning, which you can't really get away from.
No. So there was a lot to do in the air. Huh.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that problem this weekend.
Everything was soaked.
Was it really?
Morning.
All right.
Yeah. But I think just first, obviously good care of your tent is
no
super
holes.
helpful. No holes. Try to park in a location that it's going to get sun most of the day. Really helps. So it gets that tent kind of warmed up during the day.
Yeah, heats it up.
Yeah, and then if you keep it closed, it somewhat keeps that heat in there.
Right.
But obviously, minimal amount of door, zipper openings is also a really good idea. So yeah.
Yeah. So I never stayed in a rooftop tent. I've seen you set it up, and I've seen you do it. Mm-hmm. For me, I think the scariest thing is in the middle of the effing night my bladder screaming at me, and I'm groggy as hell. How am I going to navigate that ladder? How do you?
3 points of contact at all times.
Yeah, right.
3 points.
3 points. I don't even have a point of contact when I'm that groggy.
Yeah, so there can be a hose installed that you can, relieve yourself through or something of the sort. Also a bottle, Gatorade bottle or something. That would be my kind of.
Oh, that's smart.
So I don't have to get out necessarily.
Right. Because when, again, you're trying to climb down a ladder.
Yep.
You have to leave that door open for a longer period of time while you're trying to find, your first step, whatever.
Another good thing to note on those ladders, not all of them are the most, let's say, how do I put this? They're not like slip resistant.
Right.
They are, but when you put a little bit of dew on it and like all of a sudden you're throwing your shoes on or you got cold feet, you can slip pretty good. So, and this is also for the winter times as well, some like VHB or abrasive tape on those
steps.
Those steps. Just the one that I have doesn't have very good.
No. Yeah, because I mean, the idea, and maybe we should do an episode on rooftop tents and such, or now's as good a time as any.
Yeah.
The idea of a rooftop tent is huge to me. I love the idea of it. It looks killer.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your rig as part of your camping scenario. It's part of your tent. It's there. You're living with it, right?
Right.
But then there are those downsides of, if you want to get and go somewhere the next morning, you've got to fold it up. You got to put it away. You got to pack up your house and put it away, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, like you say, that was a big disadvantage. So, I have a soft-sided rooftop tent. It is a Smitty-built tent that it opens. It flips open.
Right.
So the main part of it stays on the top of the Jeep, and just online, great photos, multiple different setups. So, but like when I go, I had the awning off the side, I had the tent up, like I had it fully set up, and I have a fridge in the back of the Jeep. Like I have the small setup compared to Scott's.
Yeah, sure.
So, and he's the real king of like overlanding out of his rig.
Yeah.
But he won't use a rooftop tent because he likes the ability to pack up in the morning or just kind of go. Right. And leave the site. Yeah.
And it's especially if you're going to leave the site and then come right, back that night.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pain in the ass to pack it up and go. But for me, in my brain when I see it, I instantly there's juices flowing. I love the idea of a rooftop tent. Love it.
So there are also other rooftop tents out there, though, that are a lot quicker.
Yes.
So mine I can set it up, take it down. It takes about 10 minutes.
Yep.
7 with a ladder. So, but the other versions, there's fiberglass shell tents. They're considered like a hard shell tent. And then there's also aluminum shelled. But those open and close a lot faster.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if there could be the possibility of like, if it's the 30-second tent, you just basically kind of push a button or undo a latch and it goes up and you have all your, bedding and everything stays
already in
there.
Yeah.
I could see that being a lot better of a setup.
Yep. All right. So your tent, you're two of you in it.
Yeah. Plenty of space. It's huge.
Which is a bonus. I love that.
Yes.
It's great. There's no place though for like a space heater in there, or is there?
Not really.
Because that to me, we talked about cold weather.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking. I have like a small little desk heater.
Yep.
It's got like a little fan with a small little heating element in it,
just
to kind of knock the chill out of the air.
Yeah.
And that works awesome. But like I said, you need to have an outlet or something of the sort.
Sure. Now, lighting, does it have...
so inside the tent, it does have a strip, an LED strip that plugs into a USB port. So I can run that down to the Jeep or have just like a battery pack, which it's very helpful to have that at night kind of deal.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I camped this weekend, and I have been using a 2-season tent.
Correct.
Which has served me well for about 10 years.
And those 2 seasons are warm seasons,
right? And yet I constantly get caught up in weather and rain and cold with it.
Wind slapping the tent off your nose and.
So I found some room on a credit card.
Yeah.
And I got me a Gazelle,
which I've heard a lot about Gazelles.
I got the T4 Plus. Yep. Which is huge. But, I'm a big boy. I wanted the space, and I kind of wanted the luxury of it all. The T4 Plus has your main sleeping area, which says it'll hold 4 people.
That's huge.
And then there's the canopy up front, and you could actually put 3 or 4 people up there, too. It's the same footprint. I literally picked it up on Friday. And drove it out. I don't know how the box fit in the Jeep. The box is huge.
Is it that big?
It's that big.
I mean, I know the tent's huge. You can stand up inside of it.
Oh, yeah.
And, you got
walk
another
around.
2-3 inches on top of your head.
Yep. So I get up there, and it's starting to get dark, especially with the tree coverage and everything. I have that thing set up in under 5 minutes the first time I'm doing it in the dark. 5 minutes.
So it's pretty simple setup, take down.
Super simple.
Okay.
Taking it down is a little trickier because basically you're trying to get it to be able to put in a bag. Right. So you're trying to compress it, but still 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now the cool thing with this is it completely seals up completely. Right. Where my previous tent. It was 60% mesh
sides and mesh roof.
Which is great in the summer because I can watch the stars go by. It's awesome. So I have my buddy heater, propane heater.
Yep. Which that is one of the things that we've discovered is the buddy heater.
Yeah.
And that is a propane operated, no carbon dioxide, no carbon monoxide. It burns 100% clean.
Yep.
You can go online, look at videos. Obviously, they say don't put it in a closed space.
Yep.
But a tent really isn't a closed space. It still has air movement. There's still vents.
Yes.
Also, you just got to be safe about it. Those things have
you don't put
over.
I carried it from, and it's got a handle on it, and I carried it from the front open space to the place where I was sleeping, and I must have taken it slightly off level, and it shut it down.
Yep.
Instantly. I mean, it was almost cool to the touch instant.
Yes, and they do cool down pretty quick.
So I put it in the front, and I lit the first night I lit it, and about an hour, and I actually sat in that screen space comfortably and read.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's crazy.
Just chilling out, and that thing kept that front area so warm. And had bled over a little bit to the back area because I just kept the door between the two, wide open. And then the next night I started it about an hour before I went to bed to let it warm up everything.
Right.
And then I turned it off.
Well, yeah. And that's the other thing. It's once you warm up your tent, you fall asleep.
Yeah.
You're pretty good.
Well, I turned it off, and changed the tank out. Because my plan was whenever I got up to use the bathroom, I would start it again and just leave it on through that remainder 4 hours or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so that way when I got up in the morning, I didn't want to not get out of the blankets, and so that was amazing to be able to have that. So they have different sizes. I have the smallest size that they have, which is perfect for me.
Yeah.
But I think that's key. A good fire is key.
Yeah.
Because when you have a fire burning in your campsite, it actually does warm the ambient air around, including your tent area, including your sleeping area. It might be only 3 or 4 degrees, but it's still something to help out. I did wear a hoodie to sleep, so I can pull it over my head, because we lose most of our heat out of our head.
Yep.
So
I think some of the big things when you're cold weather camping is, as you alluded to, is like staying warm. If you get cold, it's hard to get warm again.
Yep.
So, focusing on staying warm, having ample layers on is really a big thing. Also, another thing that I was, thinking of was make sure all the vents, as you said, you sealed it up really good.
Yep.
All vents are kind of closed off, just to keep the air inside the tent. You know, it's not much, but it definitely, you're warming that air and it's staying in there.
Yeah. Yeah, because and that's true with your house too.
Yeah.
Cold air comes through a small crack in your window, or you just want to make sure things are sealed up to maintain that, because again, maintaining heat is much easier than warming something up that's cold.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So
and another big thing is also keeping things dry. So as we said, the dew in the morning, when you're out, camping, wheeling, make sure everything dries out during the day. Don't put it away wet, especially if you're doing multiple days or traveling site to site to site.
Yep.
I think that's the key important things.
Yeah. For me, that's a key indicator. Now, when I pulled everything up, and then I pulled my tarp up, underneath it was very wet.
Yep.
Which was indicative of the ground was cold, and we were producing heat on top of it, right? And so that automatic condensation, I drug the tarp out, just flipped it over and drug it into the sun, and within minutes, it was dry, and my tent was dry in the bottom because I had that ground cloth in that that tarp. But there are certain things that are a must do, and I think that is one of them. For those rooftop tents, there's generally space underneath them, if they're on the back of a bed of a truck.
Correct.
So that you lose insulation there. Yours is on top of your
rack.
Your rack, which is inches away from.
It's further than you think. Like the amount of. It's a pretty good distance. So
you
get
like
a good
6
amount
inches,
of.
So there's still air moving.
You still get a good amount of air. So multiple different kinds of, but it is a platform. So it's an aluminum double sheet platform with inner structure.
Okay.
So that alone, once that it's exposed to the weather, it's going to be cold. Yeah. But there is a 3-inch foam mat that is your bed.
Yep.
You put the sheet over and everything. But also, kind of the other things is. Even when you're doing tent camping, blanket below you and a blanket on above. Put one below you, put one on.
For every one on top, put one, or for every 2 on top, put one below you. I actually had 2 below me and 4 on top of me.
Yeah. So, and then obviously we're alluding to lots of blankets.
Blankets.
Yep, blankets are key.
Or 0-degree bags or minus 20-degree sleeping bags. I'm at a point in my life, I don't want to crawl into a sleeping bag and have to crawl out. When I need to get out, I just want to throw a cover over it,
Yeah. But also to allude to another style of camping, and that's camping in your Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've definitely spent a few nights in the back of my Jeep up at Roush. And Roush is very primitive camping.
Yep.
So I actually did that few years ago for my birthday. We went up, and my birthday's in March, but it snowed the week before.
Oh yeah,
there was 8 inches of snow when we pulled into the parking lot at Roush.
Great.
Like on top of the fire rings.
Yeah.
So we had to dig out the fire rings, and it at that point, so it went down to 22 that night. I used an airbeds mattress, or one of the Jeep back
one's designed and cut out. Yep.
So that was a great, that's your support. But then again, you got to put the blankets below, blankets above. Minimal door opens. Obviously, do what you got to do. Get in, get out, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But also one of the big things if you're sleeping in your Jeep is you can start it, run it, let it warm up.
Yeah.
If you get that whole Jeep, turn it on high and let it run.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're burning gas, but it'll keep you warm, and it stays warm in that vehicle for a solid amount of time too. So
I've done that as well, and I enjoyed it. But getting in and out for me was kind of, and you see the Instagram shots of the lights in the back and everything. There's no way to climb into that and look graceful doing it.
Nope.
Especially in a lifted Jeep.
No.
I guess you can put a little step stool at the end or whatever. But I cheated a little bit. I had my remote start with me.
So you had it next to you, and you're like, I don't even have to get up.
I'd start it. Let it run for a bit till it kind of knocked the chill off. Then I'd use a remote start to turn the engine off.
Yeah. And
then I would rinse and repeat as needed.
Heck yeah. So you just leave your fan on high and it all the way on hot, and you're good to go.
Yep. Because I do that in the winter anyway. Right. When I turn my Jeep off, I make sure that it's on high and hot.
Absolutely.
So in the morning when I start it, that's a cheating way to do it. I guess
it really is. But I mean, and then also like just alluding to everything back, just keep everything dry, keep it, warm.
So I did at the Grand Canyon. I did in the back of the Jeep, and it was still cold at night there, but I actually cracked the rear windows about an inch both sides, and that just kept air coming in. But I was able to use the remote start to keep it warm. But for me, I need to feel like I can breathe, and sometimes those Jeeps are sealed off pretty well.
Yeah,
for the most part. So for me, it got a little stuffy. So I had ventilation, and that kept the condensation from happening on the inside of the windows and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about too. I would love to. I see Ron joined us. Ron Harrington. He's going to join us on the show and really dig into some overlanding. He is the expert.
Really.
He runs Ridgeback Guide Services. If you get a chance, go wheeling, go overlanding with him. His guiding team is amazing. But I learned a lot from him, and my desire to have a Gazelle literally came from him. Because I go out with them, and this was last St. Patty's Day. I do a ride with them, and the weather was sucky in my tent. It was the worst example my tent has ever had. And I see him, and he sets it up in 2 minutes, and boop, and super warm, and he shows me the inside and how much room he has, and I'm like, fuck this. And so then, I had to get it. And it took me a while, but I had to get it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not cheap. I mean, I'm looking them up, and it's a $400 tent.
Yeah. But worth every damn penny of it. Through the night. I would look up, and I would just see the walls are straight up, they're hubbed. And I could hear the trees and the leaves rattling and rustling from the wind, and it didn't even move. It didn't even, I didn't flap. I didn't hear anything. Right. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever done. Matter of fact, I'm selling all my belongings. I'm moving into a Gazelle.
Oh, gosh. But, yeah, so, I mean, I don't got much more of, camping when it's cold. Obviously, make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you stay, full. That kind of too. That helps. You got to have energy to stay warm.
Yeah, you got to. And we have Miles on the feed just said, can you repeat the overlanding gentleman? And it's Ron Harrington, and he's with Ridgeback Guide Service.
Yes.
So just search on Facebook, or I guess Google search Ridgeback Guide, and
Ron's awesome.
I can't say enough good things for him. He's the nicest guy on the planet. His knowledge is ridiculous. His events are well run.
I've only met him briefly, not on the trails, obviously. I met him at work.
Oh, right.
Funny enough. And first words out of his mouth, well, your reputation precedes you.
Well,
I was like, yeah.
It does. But yeah, reach out, join one of his rides. They're not exactly cheap, but for what you get, they're not overly expensive either. I think they're priced exactly where they're supposed to be. And just you walk away from his weekends just going, I learned a lot. I had a good time.
Yeah.
and he can spot too. He's got a wealth of knowledge, and I can't say enough good things about it.
So if you're up in the Maine area,
obviously
Ron, and Maine, Vermont, that kind of
in the northeast. Yeah.
But if you're around here, still 101 Off-Road Consulting does a lot of different stuff too.
Yeah. Off-road well, that's to get you good on a trail. Right. So but I don't know that he does the whole camping and how to set up your stuff and all that stuff, where Ron does that. And it's an educational weekend. I know they do clinics and stuff on when you go. It's
cool.
Do it. I say do it. But if you have any questions or stories or anything that you want to talk about with overlanding, or reach out. You can. Where can people reach out to us?
Well, first you can send us an email at info@jeeplifepodcast.com, and you might get your email read.
Not might. You probably will.
Definitely will. Get it. Talked about. If you got a good topic, definitely share it out. We are always looking for new topics. If not, just Google us. Jeep Life Podcast on Google. We also have a link tree, linktr.ee/Jeep Life Podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast and get some more information about other things and special releases, this and that, head over to our Patreon, which we have a new member.
Oh, yeah.
So, huge shout out to Donald Cook.
Yeah, thanks, Donald.
Thanks.
We love it. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You're good. You're good people.
And if you would like to actually physically talk on the podcast, give us a call, 484-891-1172. 484-891-1172.
And that is our listener hotline and voicemail. So make sure to leave us a voicemail. Tell us how much you love us.
Lots, and the biggest of all, make sure you head over to our YouTube page and like and subscribe.
Yeah. Lots of stuff on the YouTube. You're so active on there. Oh, my God.
Not lately. Work got in the way.
Work has a tendency to do that. Well, everybody, it's been great hanging out on a different night of the week. I appreciate you and coming on here and listening and being a part of it. For Break It Bill and myself, here's a big Jeep wave to you, everybody. Have a good night. Woo.
Woot, woot.
Woot, woot. Hey, thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Farron and Dan and Jeff, thanks for letting me hang out with you on Saturday. It was awesome. Looks like your Sunday was equally as awesome. Everybody else on here, Miles, Mike, Dave. Oh, yeah, you said about the Armor Light banner behind us. It's getting some use. Yeah, we're lazy and forgot to bring it down after we had Dave and Kel on the episode. But
I think we need. We need another banner.
I know that I have a cold case banner. Do I have a Pypes banner?
I thought that was. You said you did, and then you looked for it.
Yeah.
And we don't actually have one.
Yeah.
Yes, that's our tube of banners.
That's yeah.
I'll look into it again.
Yeah, so we need to put
I
up.
forget.
Well, I'm gonna need the
I'll bring the
main one.
I'll bring the tube
for Jeeps and Java.
Yep, don't worry.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I'll bring it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. It was an awesome time. It was good to see everybody. We're Audi 5000.